Welcome back to Set Streets and Eats, guys. I'm Chris Bauer. I am here in Tukwila, Washington, just south of Seattle, Washington. I am in front of Bullwinkles. Bullwinkles is another old pizza arcade chain that came out in the same era as Chuck E. Cheese Pizza Time Theater and Showbiz Pizza Place. And we're gonna go in, I'm gonna talk about the history of Bullwinkles and their animatronic band, and I hope you guys will join me. Let's travel. Arcade, the Frog Hopper, and then the Zone, lots of slides. Now that ball pit would be way easier to clean if something went wrong in there. Oh, look at that awesome bowling alley. Check it out. Very cool. So Bullwinkles actually opened in 1983. This was a chain that started out west in Santa Clara, California, and it moved throughout the South, all the way into the Carolinas. They had many locations throughout the 80s and 90s. By the 1990s though, the late 1990s, just like Discovery Zone and several other places, they started falling on hard times. And by 2001, they filed bankruptcy. The Wilson Group bought them in 2001. They still run them today. And one of the first things they did was buy a California chain of family entertainment centers called Boomers. And they transferred all those into Bullwinkles. So Bullwinkles went from 4 to 15 locations just in the last 20 years. But after some hard times and some restructuring again, there is only 3 locations left of the Bullwinkles Family Fun Centers. One in Upland, California, the one here in Washington, and then another in Wilsonville, Oregon, just south of Portland. I love these lights. They just bob up and down endlessly. I think that's awesome. That's pretty unique. Ball. So the restaurant itself is closed today, but they're going to open it for me so I can watch Rocky and Bullwinkle perform the Rocky and Bullwinkle Show. That's awesome, thank you. We'd like to do $50 to be real good guy and his 12 buddies. Rocky the Flying Squirrel. Yeah. Bones, why you bones? Squirrels, who needs squirrels? We already got a good many squirrels. Oh, good, the doggone bit. Do you realize if it wasn't for squirrels, the country would be full of nuts? You know the picture? Maybe we don't have enough squirrels. Right, and that's why we're singing this song. So the animatronic show here at Bullwinkles was based on the early 80s Rocky and Bullwinkle Show cartoon that was very popular at the time. So they based the entire restaurant on it. It was a common mascot. People recognized it. They enjoyed coming out to them. I had a cast of characters like Dudley Do-Right and Underdog and a whole bunch of others. And they would incorporate them into all their different stage shows. Now, this is not the original stage show. The original stage show was called the Cabin Stage. It's gone through several different incarnations over the years, but this was the latest stage they put in the mid-2000s. And the Rocky and Bullwinkle Show, as you can see, it's kind of a big marquee, but it was they used to have a 3-stage big extravaganza with multiple characters. It was kind of the condensed down stage. Think of it as a Studio C single animatronic stage like in Chuck E. Cheese. But this, they had Rocky and Bullwinkle center stage and a revolving platform. And then they had Boris and Natasha, the villains, up there with just animatronic mouths that would, add some either dialogue or help sing the songs. But yeah, this is basically what all of the locations that remained by the early 2000s went to. Today, there are only 3 locations left, as I had said before, and the current management let them decide whether or not they wanted to get rid of or keep their animatronic shows, and the only one that decided to keep it was here in Washington. So this is the last Rocky and Bullwinkle show left in existence, and it still runs here today.
Once again, it's showtime! And here to introduce our next number is the paragon of luck that ace of the aces, the cadet of the jet and Corvette set, Rocky the Flying Squirrel!
Today we really got something special. We're going to learn how to sing harmony. Can you sing harmony?
No, but you can try.
You want to learn?
I don't know, Rob. I can't go with these films too short.
Bullwinkle films. That's pretty cool. And they got all these old film cans. That's awesome. Eastman Kodak. Oh, that's interesting. So the case is for the movie Yuli's Gold from MGM. Release print 392. Wow, that's pretty neat. This is cool. I don't really know what it is. It's just a pile. A solar symphonium. Well, I guess that's something, maybe something from the show referenced or something. I got another one over here. Oh, wow. Face Off. I remember that came out, the old Nick Cage and John Travolta classic. Face Off. All the decor around the dining room is pretty neat. Definitely reminds me of Toon. Is it Toon Island or the Island of Toons or whatever in Universal? Bullwinkles. There's a portrait of Boris. Giant screws and more film cans. Very cool. So now you can play like laser tags upstairs now. They've got, of course, got all the rides, and of course outside they have the go-karts and the bumper boats and the several other rides, putt-putt course, all that stuff. It's just a family entertainment center. Like I said, there's only 3 of these left now, but they're really neat. I really enjoy these. A lot like Imagination Stations down in Texas, or there's been several chains of these over the many, I guess, the last 3 decades, really. But yeah, this one's pretty cool. I like the Bullwinkles theming a lot, actually. I remember Rocky Bullwinkle. I really enjoyed that cartoon when I was a kid. I enjoyed all the cartoons. I loved Looney Tunes, my favorite. Rocky Bullwinkle was great. And then, of course, like G.I. Joe and He-Man and all that stuff were awesome. So, yeah, you know, if you grew up in the 80s, you had some of the best cartoons that have ever been produced to choose from, to love. And I feel pretty privileged about that. Another real popular feature for this chain was the XD theaters, which is like a 4D motion ride theater. And then, of course, now they've got them accompanied with these little VR chambers where you run through a bunch of different VR games there in the safety of a chamber. You don't have to worry about running into your TV and knocking it off the wall. And this looks like a Sharknado over here. Sharknado with the dinosaur claw. Weird, but awesome. So it's 2 floors, of course. They do have more games upstairs as well. I really love the theming. It really reminds me of Islands of Adventure at Universal, honestly. I mean, just everywhere you look, there's some kind of theming. So you've got the golf course over there. Giant rooster. Some farm animals. See a castle. And of course a beautiful fountain. And then of course you got the other side of the castle, which is the bumper boats. And then just beyond that, you got the go-karts over there. Pretty good sized track. Doesn't appear to be anyone on it right now, but there was some folks on it when I first got here. Also, if you come on a weekday, it's a good chance the restaurant, Bullwinkles, the restaurant, is actually not going to be open. They default to their snack bar. Probably limited staffing, less cleaning, I get that. But definitely come on the weekends, you'll get into the restaurant and the band will be performing. classic arcade game left. Got multiple. Violins. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my visit to Bullwinkles Family Fun Center. Again, I never got to play in these when I was a kid because they were nowhere near where I was from. I was in the Michigan, up in there in the northern Midwest, so I missed out on these. But same era as Showbiz, same era as Chuck E. Cheese Pizza Time Theaters and all that. And it was just kind of the southern and western version of those things. And it's cool that there's still 3 locations left. I wish the other 2 had kept their animatronics, but I get it. It is a different era, and animatronics kind of represent the old way. So I'm always partial to the old way, just like a lot of you guys are. So I'll definitely gonna miss those. But anyway, it was very cool seeing them, Rocky and Bullwinkle, perform. And this place is really reminiscent of the Imagination stations down in Texas and the Carolinas too. They would have had both of them around the same era. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Hope you guys enjoyed my visit and watching the Rocky and Bullwinkle Show perform and taking this tour of Bullwinkles Family Fun Center. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.